Greetings, welcome back, guys. We got news to talk about. So today was the big Skyrim reveal event with all the stuff that went down. We watched it together as a community. There's a couple things that I want to talk about. I will not cover this in great detail because there's a lot of PvE stuff in the first update that I personally don't really care about, but there's a couple things that are pretty interesting and pretty exciting. So I just want to go over this real quick. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go to either the YouTube or the Twitch channel of Bethesda, and you'll probably find the event so you can rewatch. And if you care about the lore, there's a lot of lore talk from the lore master and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, go check it out. Otherwise, I'm just gonna give you the quick rundown on what I think was the most exciting things that were talked about. So yeah, let's go and break it down. I'll play the intro for you guys, just so you know. The first major thing that I want to talk about is there's gonna be a rework of the vampire skill line. They were kind of joking about revamping the vampire skill line. Haha, funny. That's something I'm really excited about. It's something that I'm actually quite passionate about, because for many years I have fought for vampire skill changes on the forums. I even got banned from the forums because I was heavily defending my threats. I got attacked by a lot of trolls. I defended myself and I got banned. The trolls didn't. Well, anyway. You can't win every fight, I guess. But now the vampire skill changes are finally coming. We don't really have any real details about what it's gonna be. We know that there is supposed to be a Vamp Lord transformation like in Skyrim. For me personally, I don't really wanna transform into a Vamp Lord, but we'll see. Maybe it's something cool. It's probably gonna be something like the Necro transform into the big Colossus. Outside of that, we don't really have any details what it's gonna be. They said they have more active skills, so you can actually play a more active kind of vampire playstyle, which I'm really looking forward to. I really want to play as a vampire. I want to feel like a vampire, because right now you only have 2 skills and one ultimate and a couple passives. It's not anything too crazy. I like vampire, but more is better. Then another thing is they're apparently reworking the feed animation. When you feed on somebody, that's gonna look better now. It's gonna work better now, apparently, and you actually need to do that more, because they talked about how they reversed the vamp stages. Usually you wanna you become strong. They always say you become stronger when you're like stage 1, and you get weaker when you get stage 4. I don't think that's how it actually works, but you definitely get more health regen in the lower vamp stages, and it's getting cut significantly in the higher vamp stages. So apparently that's gonna get flipped around, so you wanna feed and you wanna become like a stage 4 vampire. And apparently also the skin changes are gonna be different, so you're gonna be pale at stage 1 and look more like a human being at stage 4. We'll see how this plays out. I'm actually looking forward to that, because right now when you're a vampire, there's some things you can't really do, like face tattoos or skins. They're not really showing up on the vampire skin because you're just completely pale. You're almost like glowing. You're so bright skinned. So that will probably allow vampires to actually wear some face tattoos and skins, which is really nice. And to be honest, like vampires in ESO, they don't look good. They don't look sexy. They don't look like terrifying or anything. They just look stupid. You just look like you're, you know, I don't know, you're sick and you have a skin condition. Anyway, so that's the vampire news. We'll see if we can get some more information about that. But I'm very excited about that because I like being a vampire. So this feeds right into my vampire fetish, I guess. The next thing I want to talk about is they talked about mythic artifacts that you can find. So there's supposedly a new game mechanic that allows you to find some artifacts, and you know they didn't really give much info on what exactly is going on all these topics that I'm talking about. They talked a lot about lore, not so much about the interesting things, but what we know so far is you can find these mythic artifacts, and they're like a one piece item that you can put on. And Rich Lambert talked about one ring that you're wearing that increases your speed in combat to a certain degree, but doubles your speed outside of combat. So you can potentially be very fast outside of combat and get a little bit of an extra speed boost while you're fighting somebody. So that's very interesting for me because I like speedy builds, so that, you know, kind of is another thing that I'm looking forward to. We'll see how, you know, how we can put this into a build. Maybe we can have a nice high-speed build or something. Would be interesting to see. And the other artifact he talked about was a heavy chest piece that basically gives you magicka when you're blocking. Now, I don't know any details about it. I don't know how much magicka it is. I don't know if there's a cooldown. I see a potential issue with that because, you know, you can block with an ice staff, which costs magicka. So that would kind of be a little broken, getting magicka back while blocking. And because you can do this on a warden or on a sork or on a templar, and they can get some magicka regen while they're blocking because they have unique regen passives that allow them to get a different form of regen that's that cannot be blocked. So if you pair this with a warden, for example, and he's wearing the one chest piece, and then maybe wearing other things like Desert Rose or Cyrobane, yeah, I can see an issue with that. Kind of looks like permablock build, but you know, we'll see where this goes. We don't really have any real infos and details on this. Okay, so these are the two mythic artifacts we heard about in the event. The next thing I want to talk about is siege weapons. Also something that only, like, it was barely mentioned. Like 3 times or so throughout the event, they talked about, like, oh, siege weapons, and everybody wanted to know, oh, what's that kind of siege weapon? But no details, unfortunately. We only know it's a siege weapon. That's basically it. We don't know what it does. Some people assume it's only a skin for other siege weapons. Other people assume it is a real siege weapon you can use, a new one. I don't know what it could be. Maybe it's ladders. Maybe it's something to, you know, help people get into a keep without actually sieging it. Hard to say what it is without any further details here. We'll see. I hope they let a little more of this leak, because I'm very interested in finding out about this. So yeah, unfortunately, no further details about the siege weapons. So the next topic I want to talk about is the memory leak. Let me if in case you haven't noticed yet, we got a patch today on the PC. The memory leak has been fixed. It is fixed. I played for 4 hours today. I haven't restarted my client once. No frame drops. You know, the frames weren't great because, you know, it's still ESO. So if you get into a big siege battle, the frames are still going to be shit, but there's no frame drops anymore. So if you've been suffering from the frame drops, congratulations, you can play now. Enjoy. The next thing I like to talk about is the upcoming overhaul to the patching system. A lot of people are like very worried about this. I get the question on stream a lot. When's this gonna happen? When do I have to reinstall the entire game? Well, we know now. Next week is gonna be the PTS patch. That means in roughly a month and 1 week, probably, or maybe probably more closer to like a full month, you will probably see the new patch, and that's when you have to install the game completely new, fresh, from scratch, because you know the whole patching system is going to be reworked, which means the game is going to be smaller on your hard drive. It's gonna, they said 30 gigabytes less, which is a big deal. I think if you download it, it's like 50 gigabytes or something, and then when it's installed, it's like 80 something, 82 or something. So if that's true, that means it's only gonna be maybe 20 gigabytes, and then installed maybe 50 or something. We'll see how this plays out. It's not bad. Of course, if you have slow internet, it's gonna take you probably the full day to download. And I'm sorry if that's the case. You know, my internet is not the fastest either, but I should be able to get this in a couple hours. It shouldn't be a big deal. But what it really does is, for the future, future patches are not going to be as big anymore. So you will have smaller patches, which are, of course, easier to install. So you're only going to bite the bullet once, and then you can basically profit off of this up until this point. So yeah, look forward to that. The next thing I want to mention is something we've seen in the event. A little snippet from one of the dungeons. Apparently there's a mechanic where you use a grappling hook to swing yourself from one platform to another. That is something that's really interesting for a lot of people, because this could maybe have some, you know, some application in PvP. You know, a grappling hook would be nice if you know, could use that to get into a keep. Maybe that's a, maybe there's like a correlation between the grappling hook and the new siege weapon, something like that. So I would really like to see a grappling hook kind of item in PvP, so you can maybe swing yourself from maybe the outer wall to the inner wall or something like that. Or, you know, maybe just pull yourself up and get into a keep, because that's something that I'm really missing, is a way to get into a keep without really sieging it. I mean, you still have to siege the keep to take it, but you know, if a keep is heavily defended, I think it's good for the game if there's like multiple ways to actually get in, because it doesn't make sense. The walls aren't that high. And why wouldn't you just use a ladder or like a grappling hook to just swing right in? I mean, so yeah, we'll see how this goes. Would be nice to see that in PvP, but no info, unfortunately. Like all the like really important things and interesting things that they've mentioned, they've really not given a whole lot of details on. So unfortunately, we'll see how this plays out. And then of course, let me just touch on the DLC itself, which is going to be in the summer. You know, we're getting the DLC we're getting in a month is only a small dungeon DLC. There's like 2 dungeons, I think, like a trial and a dungeon, and some other minor changes are probably going to be in there. But the big thing, like the Skyrim DLC everybody's waiting for, is going to be in the summer. Or like, what's it going to be? Probably like May or something. I don't know. No, probably not. It's going to be May, June, kind of like in that region somewhere. And this is of course going to contain the like the western part of Skyrim. There will be Solitude. We saw some pictures. Really interesting. Looks really good, actually. Kind of really looks like in Skyrim. So yeah, pretty excited to visit that place. And of course, there's for the you know, more dungeon oriented people, there's also Blackreach, which is going to be a giant underground cave that you can explore. There's a lot of stuff going on down there. Apparently there's a lot of vampires down there, which is going to be the focus of the well, the main story patch in the summer. It's all gonna be about vampires, as you can see in the trailer. There's a lot of vampires going on. So yeah, that's basically all we know. Like I said, check out the live stream if you want to know any details about the lore and stuff like that. They talked about this a lot. Unfortunately, you know, the things that I touched on right now, there's not really much info about this. I'll keep you posted if I, you know, get more info. I hope that's gonna happen soon. Outside of that, well, we'll see how it goes. I hope we get some decent performance improvements this year, because PvP is really, wow, man, it's lacking. It's lacking in performance, and I really hope we actually see some changes to Cyrodiil. I want more things to do. I want some new interesting things, but they didn't really mention any about this, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, that's my short little update on the announcement, and yeah, check out their live stream if you want to see some details about the PvE stuff. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next build video. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. I love you. Until next time, see ya.